Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. So, let's kind of start knuckling in and doing what we have to do to make sure that the nope. What was that?
What the hell was that?
Okay, so there's to do what we have to do to build this kingdom. Oh, gotcha. Do what we have to do to build this kingdom. So, more or less, he says that he fades away. You guys have time. We're more or less doing a bit of a time hop here because what happens now doesn't really matter. It's actually more about the actual kingdom building. So the short version is that word is spread out, and as it's spread out, you guys kind of like spend your time, unless you tell me something specific that you want to do different. You guys kind of spend your time walking around the actual keep itself. Well, if we're going to rebuild this castle, might as well get to work. You know, can't just expect slaves to do everything. So you have to knuckle down and literally start hacking out all the old vines of the old curse and whatnot. Start actually like clearing out. You're probably not going to start constructing because none of you guys are actual like, what's the word I'm looking for? None of you guys are actual like masons or
engineers,
engineers, masons, any of those things. But you can still keep pushing forward. As you guys are working on this, eventually there's a period of time where and Elliot's with you guys as well, and he's still like keeping track of stuff, and he's doing his own shit off to the side for the most part. He's not knuckling in and removing vines. He has his own stuff to get together. Like, for instance, he might follow you around for a while and be like, well, if there really is going to be a kingdom, we need to have certain laws in place, don't we? I suppose we should come up with laws of common sense first. Tell me your thoughts, and I'll start scribing them down, and we can hash them out later on. And so he does that, where he'll like have conversation while literally like you're in there hacking things, and you're like, I don't know, worship Vrogar. If you do stupid shit, you get killed. You know what I mean? Like,
one would definitely say the worship of Lady Erebel Dark Eyes is outlawed.
Yep. So in things like that, he like scribes these down, and literally he scribes it down verbatim. But later on, you kind of like hash it out in a much more diplomatic way. And so as time goes, eventually you actually have somebody finds their way to your doorstep. Somebody you guys are familiar with. Kithel makes his way in. And it's one of those things where he's like, I heard there is going to be a bit of change happening in this area. I was wondering if my services would be needed. I would like to render them. This location is of interest to me. And you guys have like your conversation with Kithul and you know,
Kithul, you're in charge of the law now. Yeah, the laws aren't written yet.
Yeah, that's like perfect. Like you're saying that it's like
It's funny because literally, I believe if I remember correctly, Elliot's job and his job kind of like work hand in hand. Like they actually have to work closely, and then yours as well. You work hand in hand with him, so it's one of those like, okay. So you guys are kind of like doing that sort of a thing, and then a little bit of time passes, and other people finds their way to you. Literally, people start coming up to you, start making the way in this direction. Things that you had seen beforehand. Hold on one second. I just got a message, and it's not like a 3-word thing, so.
I would prestidigitate at all our clothes. The second other people start showing up, do prestidigitation on all our clothes to make us like a little bit cleaner and more kept. That's double pass on one.
Okay, sorry, that took me a moment. So anyways, and you guys do that. Other people actually start coming in, and you find out that there's other people, settlers, that have heard word of stuff that's happening in this area. And it's kind of like one of those as you're inquiring, who is it that told this of you? They actually say, oh, well, actually, we've had here from Hod Gwen. There was a man there that was that had said that you guys are working to build a kingdom that's supposed to be fair to its citizens and whatnot in this area. And so you kind of like a little bit more inquiring eventually realize Dwayne has actually said some such. And they do say things like, and we're told that there's going to be, you know, not only safe homes, but good pay for those that are willing to build the kingdom from scratch.
I just look at one and I'm like, worth it.
I missed that. Wait, what was it?
Dwayne promising people good pay.
Dwayne's dead.
And so then a little bit more time passes, and Dwayne himself comes arriving. But when Dwayne arrives, he actually comes. The reason why he come later than others, he actually came with a small caravan. At this point in time, literally a few wagons come making their way. It took them a while to get here because traveling with wagons through forests is difficult. And on those wagons are literally people. Some of them you're familiar with. Literally, not only is Dwayne there, but literally merchants coming in and making their way. And they're like, what was his name? My apologies. It was hold on, because his wife was named the same thing. It was
I will have it here somewhere. Give me a second.
Oh my god, it's killing me. Oh, I don't want to have to pull. I know it's going to take longer for me to try to remember.
What are you trying to remember?
Yeah, the name of the merchant and his wife and daughter had similar names.
Phil is the caravan.
Phil! That's right, Phil and Felicia and okay, yeah. So and Phyllis.
Yeah.
So Phil is actually is part of this small caravan that's here. Not all the wagons are, but he's actually here as well. And Phil goes, I understand that you're going to need a little bit of aid in getting things established. I'm not here to do work for you. I'm not here to lift stone. However, I do have materials that I'm willing to sell to you for a fair price to get things established. Even mundane things like rope and picks you might need now. And I happen to have come across some in my travels. And so he literally starts setting up shop for temporarily. He can only stay for so long for you to literally do that. And part of the caravan is so his people providing protection for the people that were traveling through the woods to get here. Because remember, he has caravan guards and whatnot. You have a population of people that have come here as well from not only Hodgwen, but they also traveled through Rid that have heard of this, and some more people are coming in. Not a lot. I mean, we're talking several dozen, but not a ton of people. But also what came with Dwayne, who you guys have a quick discussion with as well, he brings with him somebody else that looks of interest, somebody else that you had met beforehand. A certain guard of a certain bank that you guys had encountered beforehand.
Hey!
And he literally comes... When he comes walking up, I imagine Valrin's actually the first one to see him, because literally off to the side... Valrin sees the guard come walking in. It's like a... like almost enjoyment and whatnot as he's walking in with Dwayne. And then he walks by and he would literally go to find one. And one I imagine is like shirt off, sweating as he's like doing actual heavy labor because he's not a wimp like these two. Excuse me, management position is very important, says Neil. And he goes up to what's his face there? One. And he literally, one would kind of like look over his shoulder and see the guy that you had engaged in melee combat with. And I wouldn't say he whooped your ass, but it was certainly a very fair fight between the two of you. You were surprised at how tough he was. And he would stand there, you get his attention until you like turn to, do you turn to acknowledge him or do you keep working? Or combo?
Turn to acknowledge him and I just go like,
Turns, puts one foot up on the tree stump next to him, flexes slightly, he's like,
He calls out over to where you're working and says, I hear there's opportunity if one's willing to work for it.
Not here in guild business?
I don't know if you realize, but I wasn't happy with their business. I'm sure one day they'll come calling for me. But for now, I saw the opportunity. He looks over towards Dwayne, then looks back at you and says, and heard if I'm willing to work, I'll be paid well for it.
Well, I would love to sense motive, please.
Sure, go ahead.
It's a good idea.
are we working in a similar area?
Yeah. You guys are about.
Baron's like burning vines off the outside of the keep. Just.
You think?
What he doesn't realize is we're going to send him around with a bucket and a sponge later on to clean off all that soot.
Okay, so
just ray of frost, it'll melt.
So can you do me a favor? Could you actually sorry, did you want to use a luck point on that, or are you good?
Yeah, go on. It's worth it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because we also need to know whether or not the dude's magic is affecting him.
15.
Well, it's a 15 at least.
So you honestly, you think he's being genuine? You know what I mean? Like, you can see there's like a darkness behind his eyes, to the sense where he's like, when he had said the words, "I'm sure one day they'll come calling." You can see that there's like a very seriousness to that. There's a gravity to his statement there. But otherwise, you don't think he's being deceptive.
Okay, can I also detect alignment? I don't know how it works, but I would like to do that.
So I would have to read the spell to make sure I get this perfectly. Give me 1 second, because I've always done alignments as if you're just a dude, your alignment isn't a glowing fucking force.
But if he was like really evil, I'd like to know.
But yeah, if you have done recently big evil deeds, so detect alignment, is that a spell? What's the ability called?
I get it as part of my Inquisitor thing.
What's it literally called?
One of those things. Detect alignment.
It's actually called detect. Oh, or is it sense alignment?
It might be sense alignment. Where is it?
Let me look at Inquisitor.
It is detect alignment.
So why did that just fucking pop up? Detect alignment.
At second level, at will, an Inquisitor can use detect chaos, detect evil, detect.
Oh, okay. So it'd be like
war.
okay, good, like those. So the way the detection spells work, the way that I do it is, if somebody just happens to have an alignment, it doesn't matter. You know, if somebody's neutral evil, they don't radiate evil unless they've recently done evil deeds. That's how I've always said it in mine. Otherwise, you would literally have a paladin walk into a town and say detect evil, and just murder a bunch of people and walk out. Right. So in mine, they have to recently have done evil deeds, and so when you cast, you have to choose which alignment you're detecting. Is this an at-will ability?
I believe so. It is at will.
Okay, so you kind of shift through them. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you will detect off of him is you feel slight chaos detected off of him.
Okay.
So as you go like law, chaos, good, evil, you will detect chaos slightly, like a lingering presence, meaning that he's not necessarily chaotic, but he's recently done an act of chaos.
Like leaving the only organization that he's ever worked for, probably.
Yeah, probably. Just got up and fucking ran. Well, peace, goodbye.
One would just kind of throw him a pick and be like, "You want to work?"
He nods, catches the pick. You know he's not a weak guy, and so he works.
Wait a minute. Aren't the back-breakingly heavy rocks round there?
Your character says that. He looks to your character, looks back to one.
One would just be like,
he walks in that direction without even a complaint or anything. Okay. Treasure is a skill, is either intelligence or wisdom base. He's not very smart. Simple fact of the matter is he's not a very smart person. Otherwise, he wouldn't be finding himself in this scenario. However, he's not unwise. You know what I mean? And so this is the guy that was kind of being sent for you to be used in a way. And so what they brought with them with the caravan of people, they didn't just bring a caravan of people. You eventually, like later on that night, you realize when Dwayne kind of goes over and you guys like discussing, so that guy came with, do we really want to trust him, that sort of thing. Dwayne will kind of await his way in and say, so I continued working because I didn't realize you guys had left the area. I just wanted to let you know that in scouting about and discovering, I found out that he wasn't very happy with his scenario. Met in a tavern, we talked for a while. One thing led to another, and then I kind of got this inkling of a sensation and heard rumors passing through the town. I leaned into the rumors because I knew that they were speaking of you. Him and I continued talking further, and so we devised a plan. He knew of a shipment that was being made that belonged to a certain organization in a certain city. We chose to seize that shipment. And this when he brings you over to a wagon, and he lifts up the wagon, like that was revealed there, and you see, let's just say assets sitting there. And both in the form of coin, but coin that, is meant to belong to the kingdom. So both in the form of coin, but also in the form of like deeds and like favors, blackmail, stuff like that. All sorts of things that could be used for favor of the kingdom, as well as like manifests of other people's like supplies, deals that can be made with other people like masons and carpenters, etc. A whole bunch of stuff, like a shipment of like information that would have belonged to this like roguelike organization. You just kind of took that, valuable in more ways than just financially. And so he says, this was supposed to be his peace offering to you to show that he was being serious.
Scott, I need to take a break for a sec.
Yeah, not a problem. You go right ahead. Just mute yourself.
Well, something we can use to fill that gap. I just had an idea of how we can figure out how to name. would I, in my knowledge, know anything about the early time of either the early time after the Perrin were freed, or the empires that were in the region of Adir before it fell?
So ask that question one more time. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. What were the names of the empires or the different ruling parties that were in Adir?
It was one ruling party. It was just the
Yeah.
Maul.
Just did it have an actual name for the empire, or was because the mole is the race?
Correct.
So.
Republic of Maul.
No. Okay. Damn.
So I wasn't sure if were you just trying to think of the nation.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a
Don't worry about that
name.
now. That doesn't matter. So anyways, so they present to you this stuff. So more or less the way that this worked out, I'm going to show this to you in Roll20 in case you hadn't seen it before. There was a build point calculator. So I'll show it to players so everybody can see it. So you're literally starting off with 91 BP going into this. The starting BP was 50. This is kind of what's given to you by your what's it called? What's the mechanics there?
Silent patron.
No. But the mechanics is actually, it's called something inside Kingmaking for people that want to ever play this in the future. Wealthy sponsor, which is that guy more or less is your wealthy sponsor, and then the silent patron or like kind of what comes from all of the months of people subscribing on Patreon is an additional 41 came your way. So you actually have a total of 91 BP for the starting of this nation. Now, that's literally walking into it before we do any turns, so any phases or anything like that are rolled. So this is going to be how we kind of maintain it moving forward. And if you scroll down, you can see who it was that oh, no, that's only on my side. Who it was that had given these. So you have months of like Silencio and Funny One, Hunter and Wolf, and Celsior. All were offering more to the Silent Patron area, so thanks to them. And so you have 91 to walk into, which is actually a really, really good amount. Because the way consumption works, as you'll learn, is if you don't have farmlands, the way consumption works is literally you pay BP out of your economy to feed your people. Having farmland reduces the consumption that you pay out of your pocket, which is kind of nice. So that's your calculator there. Cool. Let's move on.
So, okay.
What's up? I
made the mistake of reading chat.
Oh, I've been trying not to look there to not get too distracted. So let's see. We already have a lot of stuff established for you guys, and we're gonna kind of again continue pushing forward. The one thing I didn't do is this guy, the guy that you had fought here. I don't think I ever named him before, did I? The one that Jacob fought.
I don't think so. We haven't got a name. No.
Correct.
What Hammer Dude?
Correct.
Yeah.
Or Mace Dude?
It was a Morning Star, I think it was. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So I don't think I actually named him, and so I'd actually like to offer an opportunity for a name to be generated by chat that isn't ridiculous. Don't give a dumb name. A name that's offered by chat. Trini. Oh my god.
Not Trini. No.
No, not Trini. We'll pick a couple of them, and then we'll have the party choose out of two. That sound nice. So moving on. This guy,
not Trini. No.
This guy is going to be able to add his wisdom modifier to economy for you, which is a 2 modifier. And currently his name is unnamed. Unnamed. I think is how you spell it. Cool. Trunny Thompson. Moving on. So they deliver all the stuff to you. You guys continue working. Now this is where we're actually going to bring you to a whole new page. A whole new world. Bam. First time seeing this, isn't it? So the way this works is literally your kingdom. Oh crap! I didn't give you guys the ability to control all of that stuff. That's annoying. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. I'm gonna have to make this a representative of a character. Give me one moment. So we're gonna add a character called Settlement Piece. Piece. In players' journals, all players can be edited and controlled by all players. Save. This should be an NPC. Give me 1 second while Roll20 is thinking. This is going to be create an NPC. And then we'll close you. Then the way this should go from here is... I think it's going to end up being a pain in my ass. Unless I could think of how it is I can make it so you guys can control these pieces individually. I don't think I... Players' permissions can see. No, I don't think I can actually have it so you guys can control these.
Expect.
I mean, worst case, we can ping where we want things to go.
Gladius.
Gladius.
So basic.
I like the idea of having just like the most mundane name ever, just like Fred.
So, like, for instance, now you should be able to move the barracks, right? Oop, cool. What the hell did I just do?
Did I miss anything super important?
No, you did not. Give me 1 second so I can reveal you again to,
Yeah, quick, put your nips away, Jake.
There you go. All right, cool. So anyways, more or less what this is annoying thing. I have to do this one at a time. God damn it, Scott. I wish you had thought about this beforehand. So, the way...
Professional. DM.
Oh, he's writing it in.
So the way this works is you guys have to actually build your you guys have to actually build your kingdom. So every month that passes, you're allowed to build one piece. Shit, what did I just do? Fuck. This is gonna be such a pain in the dick. I won't lie. I don't even remember what this piece was that I just fucked with right here. What is this, a stable? I don't even remember what that piece was I just fucked with. I'm gonna figure it out afterwards. Alright, so anyways, I'll just have to control them for you, because this is a pain in the balls for now. I'll have to fix it after the stream for next time. So the way this works is, as you're building your kingdom, you have to, you can build one, what are they called? Building inside of your settlement every turn, or every month that passes. As your kingdom gets builder, you can actually build more, at a higher rate, and so on and so forth, but early in the phase, you can only do one. There's kind of a funny thing that's going on. You see in the top left-hand corner how there's this like little keep or whatever that's sitting here? Well, that keep actually is going to take up a whole 4-block area because it's the Mull ruins that you had beforehand. But what they are going to be, you actually have 4 choices of what you can use those Mull ruins as. I know what you're probably going to use them for, and we'll get to that in a moment. So when it comes to actual settlements creating, kingdom building, so on and so forth, here's a link. You can, if you were following the link before, you can just click the button that says settlements. Otherwise, the link is here in Twitch chat. And so in the settlements area, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of rules of how the actual settlements are worked on, built, traditions, all that fun shit. We don't have to worry about the nitty gritty of this first settlement quite just yet, because I don't know if we're gonna have enough time left the stream to get into all the dirty details. But what you do need to do is build actual buildings. That is going to be 1 second. Scrolling all the way up. Buildings. Building actual buildings. So the first buildings that you're going to make were settlements, building a new settlement. So if you're in the settlements page and you look at founding a settlement, you'll see step 1, acquire funds. You already have that. You have 91 build points, and we're going to do a whole kingdom turn in a moment. Step 2, explore and clear a hex. Well, you actually have already explored this hex, so the next thing you have to do is actually spend money to clear this hex. So clearing out a hex for forest, if you actually remember for the chart that I pulled out beforehand. As I was exploring. So clearing a hex based off of terrain. A forest hex, clearing it takes, preparation takes 2 months time. So it's going to take just over 2 months time or whatever for you to prepare this to be actually built within. So 2 months of this hard work that we're talking about with these people coming to you, spending the cost of 4 BP. Okay? You don't technically have even your kingdom isn't even really started yet. So I'm not going to do an actual full kingdom turn yet. We're just going to say, hey, 2 months pass, and you guys are spending 4 BP out of your treasury, which I'll take care of that for you right now. Your 91 immediately drops down to an 87. Okay? Are we following along with this? Okay. Because I'm going to kind of give the reins to this to you guys in the future. So you're clearing out this hex over the course of 2 months' time. If you don't remember, when we first started this campaign, we were saying that it was springtime. Remember? It was, I believe, April. 2 months had passed, so May, June. 2 more months just passed, July, August. So now we're started in April, May, June, July, August. We're in the middle of August right now. For whatever this world calls August, for simplicity, we're calling it August now. And now we're actually kind of be getting to the point where, yay, you finished that. After you've already explored the area, the next thing you have to do with your settlement is claim the hex as yours. Claim the hex is super easy. You literally just spend 1 BP to claim the hex. Guess what? You're spending 1 more, bringing it down to an 86. This hex that we currently have on our primary map, I'm going to bring us back to that map. You've finally claimed as your own. Try to get this visible for everybody in chat. To actually claim a hex, I have a cute little blue hex here to say which hex is yours. Shit in my way. Bam! Congratulations, guys! You have a hex! Yay! I know this
That first ever hex. Well, wrong side.
No, it's that side.
Rip.
That's the side that it takes place in.
Yeah, no, that's the side that the actual keeps on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Rip.
So you claim that hex. The hex is yours. Yay! Good to go. We're excited. Moving on. So once the hex is claimed, then the next thing you do at settlements is going to be step 4. Prepare the site for construction, which you've already explored. You've already claimed. Then you prepare for construction. To claim a hex, you need to prepare it depending on the site. So we actually did that slightly out of order, but you get it. Once you clear a site for construction, that actually is gains the settlement or the district. A district has 9 such little plots that have 4 lots in each of them. That's the little map we just looked at a moment beforehand. So we're going to bring the map back over to there right now for you guys so you can see it again. Bam. So yeah, you can see that over there. The next thing you're going to do in the settlement when you first build a settlement is you have to construct your first building. Constructing your first building in your settlements is you construct a building, pay its cost. If this is your first kingdom, if your kingdom's first settlement, you should start with, though it's not mandatory, out of all the building options, you should start with an inn, a shrine, a monastery, or a watchtower. I'm going to get into what those means in a second. In addition, you may also produce and construct 1 house, mansion, noble villa, or tenement to start off as, okay? If your first building is an inn, you must construct it next to a house or tenement because of the way that the rules work. And that's because they require each other to be next to each other. Remember I said beforehand, things don't really work out. So just a little bit of meta knowledge, and you might forget this in the future. In the future, when you eventually take over, what's that town called? Rid, you'll see that there's an inn, or sorry, tavern or whatever, that's not adjacent to, so it's like, oh, that's considered an abandoned building. Immediately you have to fucking take care of that or it's going to collapse and now you just lost a building. Like it's built poorly, which is like, ah! So, of your 4 options, something that you have to build going in, sorry, there are many things you can build going in. The game suggests inn, shrine, monastery, or watchtower. Do you have in your mind of those 4 something that you really, really, really want to build? Or are you like, I would rather see what all of the options are, all 65,000 of them, and kind of like, instead of like, you know, opening that doorway, why don't you kind of like tell me one of those 4, I'm leaning towards this, or I have an idea X. What do you suggest, Scott? I'll start with you, Tesh. I'll start with you, Jake.
Well, we need a shrine. Like that's something that's gonna give us credibility for what we're claiming. So
That's true.
kind of need one of them.
Yeah.
What a shrine offers to you guys is when you build a shrine, it gives you +1 loyalty, -1 unrest as you move on. It can later on be upgraded to a temple. Also, shrines have this really cool feature where every month that passes, there is a chance that it produces potion, scroll, or wondrous item. Now, important to note, when a location produces a magic item, it's not yours. It belongs to that location. However, it's locked in as an asset that can be purchased by your party if you choose to do so moving forward. There's never a question of, oh, do I need... You always know that that's there, that you can buy it, which is kind of cool because it's something that you know is in a shop that you can get.
And getting one early means there's more chance of it producing more things.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true.
Temples and whatnot also have this other funky feature where a temple increases the attributes of the as follows. Depending on the alignment, it affects other things like loyalty, economy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It actually increases attributes based off of what it is. So if you're building a shrine, technically you're building a shrine to all of the gods until you eventually build 3 shrines. Which, in my opinion, just as a suggestion as a DM to PCs, for the sake of RP as opposed to mechanics, it makes sense in your capital you would inevitably have 3 shrines.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
make sense.
Okay. Yeah.
But so you suggest a shrine, Neil.
Yeah. I agree. I think shrine's quite important, but I don't necessarily know what all the others do mechanically.
Sure. Let's look at the others. So shrine is, what did I say? +1 loyalty, -1 unrest. The other suggested ones, because I'm going to forget these over and over again. Guys, try to help me remember them as we go.
Yeah.
The other
'Cause
suggested
inn
ones are
helps out,
Watchtower, Monastery, and Inn. Monastery is kind of like the worst of the options, if I remember correctly. So we're not even going to look at that. So it's Shrine, Watchtower, or Inn. Watchtower. Watchtower adds +1 stability, -1 unrest, but also increases the nation's defense by 2. I should say the town's defense by 2, whatever.
Yeah. What about the inn? What does that do? Does that help
lastly-
our economy? Because our economy is real low.
Lastly, the inn. Oh, the economy just went up, don't forget, because you added a person to it.
Sure.
So I'm trying to get them scrolling instead of clicking, which was dumb. Where
Yeah,
is
our
it now?
economy is
There we
now
go.
4.
It's +1 economy, +1 loyalty. However, it has to be built adjacent to a house. Special also increases
so
the
it
base
has to be
value
a
of your
house.
town. It increases the base value of your town by 500 gold, and increases the society of your town by 1. Don't worry about settlement stats yet, but you know.
Oh yeah, I think shrine because we'd have to build a house to build the inn.
You've got the BP for it, so you don't have to worry about that.
I mean that's true.
So first things first, building a shrine. Does that sound good?
I agree. Shrine.
Okay, I'm telling you right now that this right here actually sits here. Sorry. You can't see what it says right now. It actually literally says, so I'm going to copy, bump, and then paste, which I forgot to do beforehand. It actually just currently says Mull Ruins. That actually has no value other than being Mull Ruins at the moment. That sits there. You cannot change that. That's going to be something else in the future. Where would you like to put your shrine?
Now this is the part of the RTS I was never good at. So,
This is less intense than the RTS,
I know.
but still a factor.
Yeah. So do you guys have any ideas?
I would suggest somewhere in the middle.
I was gonna say, should we just plop it up here? Because if we're gonna have 3 shrines in our capital,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
and then we have like one here, one here, one here.
You could always
That
do
way.
the opposites. You could do like shrine in the opposite corners, and then the actual castle in the.
That's
not a
true,
bad
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that idea. Scott.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
So
do top right for now.
this one for now, I think.
Okay, and then of that square, though this matters a little bit less. Do you care about where in that square this goes for now?
Corner to make it neat.
Top right hand
I
corner,
think-
you're saying?
I think so. Yeah, the outside corners to make it neat.
Okay, so we'll do that then.
Or
And
do we
this,
want the inside corners? No one else's input?
Sorry,
It doesn't matter at this point, does
Outside it is.
okay, cool. So you're building a shrine there, and so that's where it's going to be. It's currently a shrine to all 3 of the gods, of course.
Yeah.
Now, to actually build that shrine, I'm not sure exactly if building that first location is supposed to be part of a kingdom phase. I'm pretty sure it is. So we're actually going to have to roll your literally first kingdom phase is literally going to be
Oh boy.
building the shrine.
Here
Okay?
we go.
So I'm new to this. This is going to be very much a learning phase for all of us. I've read it a bunch of times, but
Before invasion.
let's make sure that everything is settled correctly. So currently you have 1 forest is in your control, and its population currently says is 50. I don't know why it says 50. Where is it pulling that number from? Look up. Sorry, if x30. Sorry, one second. I just want to make sure I do something correct. If x38, quote v lookup t38. T is probably from the other page there. Give me 1 second. Settlement. Anything written here? No. Base value 100. Give me a second, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Data. This is the super fun part about this. This is what I warned. You want to hear something funny?
Scott.
But I do. I do. I have to pee again. Listen, I've already had 65 ounces of water, so 50. Okay, wow. They got a baseline population from forests being 50. So every time you claim a forest region, it has a population of 50. According to this chart, it's just when you have buildings that also adds to it. So you literally have a population in your kingdom right now of 50 people, which actually makes sense because you own one forest plot before you have any buildings in your control. More or less, where everybody is living right now is in those ruins and small little kind of like lean-tos and huts and tenements and whatnot around without even building tenements yet. Now, as part of this first phase of Kingdom, just as a reminder, not only did you build the shrine, you also can construct a house, mansion, noble villa, or tenement. Mansions are for wealthy people, right? Like for like a wealthy family. I don't think you care about that right now. A noble villa is for literally like the noble district and whatnot. I don't know if you care about that right now with how it is that you're building the society. I think you're more leaning towards house or tenement. Correct me if I'm wrong. What is the significant difference between those two? And you guys are following along. You have the links open so you can follow along if you'd like, right? You don't.
I do not have the link open. I closed it and I can't find it again.
Okay, so if you go into this is for Twitch chat, so everybody can be with me. And again, you do not have to follow along this if you choose to do so. This is settlement information. You're welcome. And this is the buildings information. For the actual buildings. Now I'm going to look at houses versus tenement. Usually you have to build a tenement to upgrade it to a house. However, if you're building your first settlement, they allow you to build a house for free. Okay? You usually have to do tenement then house. So a house costs 3 BP. The first house you're building during your improvement phase does not count against the total number of buildings you can build during the whatever. So it reduces unrest by 1. Now, that doesn't permanently do it. It's that when you first build one, it reduces your unrest by 1.
Yeah, we have a place to sleep.
Exactly. Tenement, the way tenement works is... Where are you? Scrolling to it. It increases unrest by 2 because it's a shitty fucking home. But you have to build tenements to have places for people to live, right? This is like low rent housing. This is like shitty fucking homes. But I'm allowing you to say that during the months that you're clearing out this area, your people are able to build houses first. Because one house doesn't represent one individual home. An important thing to note is that every building, every lot that you fill, actually represents about 250 people. Okay? So I imagine you want to build a house, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Where would you like to build this first house?
Is there any benefit of it being next to a shrine?
There is no benefit directly of it being next to a shrine with mundane mechanics. We might play with the mechanics moving forward.
Let's just pop it down.
We need to make sure it can be next to an inn.
So let's pop it down in an empty square.
Which empty square would you like to put that in?
Wait. So does it have to be in one of these green ones?
Correct. Absolutely. The brown ones are going to be like in the future. Those will be upgraded to roads. We'll worry about that later on.
With the inn, is it in the same square? Or is it like one here, one here?
Correct. It'll be in the same green plop, but a different lot.
Okay. Then I think I agree with what he was saying.
Okay. Because just as a reminder, there's a district that's 9 groups. And then in each group, I can't remember what the group is called. In each group, there's 4 lots. So you guys can control that house now. Feel free to put that where you'd like.
Oh.
Perfect.
Did someone else move that? Because I'm pretty sure I had the wrong thing.
One of you guys did, which is fine. So to build one house costs 3. To build one shrine, I actually have it written on here, costs 8. If you actually look, when you click on one of these tokens that you can click on, the
3.
red circle is how much it costs in BP. The blue circle is how many lot spaces it takes up. So you're paying the total of 11. But we don't technically do that yet in the kingdom phase. Let's actually go to the kingdom phase. Sorry for everybody if this is, again, we'll be learning this as we go. I don't know why I'm apologizing. Get the fucking used to it. All right. Phase 1 is the upkeep phase. So the way phase 1 works is you literally say, attempt a stability check. If you succeed, unrest decreases by 1. We actually don't even know what unrest is. I imagine unrest walking in should probably start at 0. We'll get to that in a moment. If you fail, if you succeed, unrest decreases by 1. If you fail by 4 or less, unrest increases by 1. If you fail by 5 or more, it increases by 1d4. Okay. What is a stability check? I'm gonna have to make little pop-outs for this to make it easier in the future too.
What's our settlement size?
1. Wait. My apologies. Your settlement or your kingdom?
Settlement. So like types and population range. I'm just reading stuff.
Size in lots is village. Yeah.
Okay, so the population range is 61 to 200-ish.
Yeah. Oh, you're looking at, gotcha. You're looking at that. So the population technically is 50 until you finish constructing these buildings. Then it is actually going to jump up to 550.
Okay.
And
just like nations, towns and cities are ruled by governments.
Yeah.
So we get a bonus here for theocracy.
We already applied that.
Double the modifiers for the settlement's alignment. So did we apply that?
Hold on one second. So where are you reading this off of?
On this D20, the kingdom building. Is it different to the Kingmaker?
You're in a lot of different, like, you have to be more specific of the 100 tabs I've opened.
Okay, so if you go into settlements on the D20 PF and then settlement government.
Oh, okay, so the PFSRD. Okay, you go to settlements, settlement government. Yep.
And then scroll down to theocracy.
Gotcha. So my apologies. The theocracy that we had set up before him was your kingdom's government.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. So settlement
So
government.
can settlements have different governments compared to your kingdom?
Just like nations, towns, and cities are ruled by governments. A settlement's government not only helps to establish the flavor and feel of the community, but also adjust its modifiers. Choose one of the following settlement governments. Several options have been added. So more or less your capital city, which this is currently going to count as your capital, is going to mirror your exact nation's government, right? So it's definitely going to be a theocracy. Funny enough, theocracy, see how it says P3PP? This means that it's a third-party option. It's not basic to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So technically, it's going to be autocracy.
Okay, cool.
Or council. Right. But we're going to go with autocracy for simplicity for now.
Yep. Sure. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all very important questions.
It's just when we were getting to the rolling, I just thought I'd check.
All again, very, very important questions. So going back. Where were we? The actual stability check. How do we? It's written somewhere. It's called a stability check, I want to say. So you're, where the fuck was I? I need to have pop-outs in the future because scrolling up and down on a fucking huge page is super annoying. So, where were we? The actual phase 1 is right here. So upkeep phase. Here we go. You're gonna roll a stability check. So let me actually control F this. Stability check. Up. So Warden's rolls affect stability checks. Let's see who rolls in the kingdom. So running a kingdom is more fun if the players are all involved. So more or less you guys can roll for this stuff, but the Warden's modifier usually rolls for the stability check, which you guys should be fine with. Kingdom checks. Let's see. The kingdom has 3 attributes. Your kingdom's initial score for these attributes is 0 plus modifier. Many kingdoms, actions, and events require you to do kingdom checks using either your economy, loyalty, or stability attribute. It's a 1d20 plus the appropriate attribute plus other modifiers. You cannot take a 10 or a 20. Kingdom automatically fails on a natural 1, automatically succeeds on a 20. So stability. Stability refers to the well-being. Your kingdom's initial stability is 0, plus your kingdom's alignment and leadership modifiers. which we already went over all that stuff and we established it. Stability check. Unrest. Your kingdom's unrest indicates how rebellious your citizens are. Your kingdom's initial unrest is 0. That answers that question. Unrest can never fall below 0. Subjects of your kingdom's unrest. Okay, yeah, whatever. Moving on. So, determine kingdom stability. Attempt a stability check, which we already talked about. So, I don't know what the DC is for this. So, if your kingdom unrest ever reaches 20, so... I'm trying to just see what the DC is.
Because people show up and instantly rebel.
Based on the leadership, economy,
It's Alki, yeah.
Stability is 56. If the unrest is currently 5, consumption is 5, treasury is BP 12. Step 1 upkeep is attempts a stability check to determine the kingdom. Adam rolls a 19 and adds the kingdom's stability. Subtracts, and gets a total of a 70. That's a success, and it's a success because he's rolling against the control DC. So what you're rolling for a stability check is against the control DC. Okay, cool. So we have to find out what the control DC is. I had seen that beforehand. Give me 1 second to find out the control DC. So some kingdom actions require checks. DC 20. The base DC for a control check is equal to 20 plus the size in hexes. So that's 20 plus 1 plus the total number of districts in all of your settlements. So that's you have 1 district, 1 hex. So it's +1, +1, plus any other modifiers and it's from special circumstances and effects. So the DC is a 22 for your first control DC. That's rough. That's high, right?
So which phase is this?
This is the upkeep phase.
Okay, cool. Check your kingdom's stability. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Pay costs and deal with unrest.
Correct. So it's a stability check against a DC 20 is the first thing that you have to do. That's a rough one. Oh shit! I just closed my own goddamn thing right there.
Oh no! Rip.
It's just my I closed a tab instead of opening it.
Unrest.
I do that all the bloody time.
It's what happens when you have too many tabs open. So
Yeah, it is.
I'm closing a ton of tabs like sorcerer and stuff like that I opened when I was helping you guys level. So your stability right now is a +5. So unless I'm mistaken, currently you guys have a +5 to your stability. You're rolling into DC 22. Fun fact, something we have not factored in yet, is for those members over on Patreon that hold a certain tier, they actually add a bonus to the kingdom checks. So actually, anybody that has a tier, merchant tier or higher, maintains a +1 to the kingdom's economy for a temporary roll. So I'm gonna get that 1 second.
Well, the DC's 21.
DC's 22.
22.
Hexes and districts +20. Okay, so get that in a second. Anybody who has a noble or higher gets a +1 bonus to the kingdom thing of their choice. Nobody was really maintaining noble in a way that mattered there, but anybody who has advisor or higher for this month gives a +1 to a stat of their choice. I actually did not ask them yet because I wanted to be able to control it. So stat of your choice is actually going to be stability. Just to start the kingdom off well, I'm making them give you a bonus to stability here, okay? And then we do this. So right now, of that tier that affects the stability is going to be, there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4 people that are currently maintaining that tier, okay? So you have a +4 temporary bonus to stability. And as for your economy, you currently have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people giving you a temporary bonus to your economy. Okay? So the modifiers are going to say it was miscellaneous. Other. Right? No.
So you're on a +9 currently.
Temp, here we go.
Stability.
Yep. And a +4 stability. Cool. And that's coming from the patrons, the silent patrons and whatnot are offering this to you. Okay? So the first check that's going to be made is a stability check. It's technically being rolled by, a lot of chatter here, sorry guys, Kithul. That being said, who would like to roll 1d20 + 9? What are you doing? I gotta pee really bad. I keep drinking so much water and coffee, I'm sorry.
I think it took me a little while to get that one. That was while you do that, I need to pee really bad. Who wants to roll it?
What are we rolling exactly?
1d20 plus 9 is to determine the country's
Yeah.
stability. So Kithel is doing
1d20 plus 9, yeah. Do you want to see if your luck's back?
Yeah, sure. It could backfire.
It could backfire.
1d20.
Can we use the luck dice as well with these?
Why not? It can go on anything, right?
Dunk. Oh! Your luck is not back! What the fuck?
Luck dice won't help here.
Yeah, no, that's no point. What the... Can we, like... It's on the stream, VOD. Fuck. I was like, he's not here.
Can someone like bless me? Something like that, please. I don't mean like in game. I mean like I need some form of exorcism.
Yes, there's something wrong with you right now.
Jesus. Well, I guess I'll just catch this wheel in Pokemon Go and sit here and think about my life. One.
What's up?
Here's go.
Look,
I didn't see the
you can
result.
see what's up.
We failed.
Rolled a natty 1. Oh my god, that's sexy. So you failed by a ton. So who rolled that? That was Rayrin. That means they're going to throw it to Tesh. Tesh, roll me a 1d4. That's awesome. That's sexy. I love it.
Wait, 1d4?
Correct. So remember, if you fail this check, you actually increase unrest by 1d4. You rolled a 1, so it's actually not so bad. So unrest in your kingdom goes from a 0 to a 1. Cool. So that means moving forward, you're going to have some, and I'm going to explain this stuff out in a fun way in a minute. You're going to have some...
3 1 rolls in a row.
What?
That's 3 1 rolls in a row.
Oh, that's
2
funny.
ones on a 1d4 and 1 on a die 20.
So
Fucking hell, yeah.
the next thing you have to do is you have to pay consumption. Subtract consumption from Kingdom's treasury. So just so you know, the way that consumption works, let's do that in a second. Consumption. So consumption, build points, consumptions. Consumption indicates how many BP are required to keep the kingdom functioning each month. Your kingdom's consumption equals its size, modified by settlements and terrain improvements such as farms, Consumption can never go below 0. So currently, your consumption is only 1 because your kingdom size is actually only a 1. Your terrain, forest, does not impact your consumption by increasing it or decreasing it or doing anything like that. Okay? So that's an important thing to know. It's just reading this. Yep. Building. A hex containing it. Nope. Resource. Nope. Perfect. So your consumption is going to be 1. We subtract 1 BP for that consumption. Yay. Actually, could you do me a favor, Tesh?
Yeah.
Over in the journal, if you want to open up your build point calculator.
Yep.
So it's...
Did it open? Oh, I already had it open. That's why.
Okay. If you click edit, technically speaking, your base number was not 91 anymore because we had to pay stuff to even get to the 91.
How do I... Can I just adjust it or...
Oh, sorry. Here we go. Now you can click edit.
I think I have to reopen it.
Yep.
Hey, there we go.
So technically your base was not actually 91. Your base is 86 because we spent money to oh, did we didn't build buildings yet, did we? No. Okay, cool. So it's change your
Yep.
Change your monthly start to 86. From 91.
And where do I take the money off of? Starting BP?
Yeah, so change the 91 to 86 instead of 91. And then we're going to kind of like work as we go down there. So your stability check did not affect your BP. So that's just 0 BP. Your consumption result is -1 BP. Do you follow?
Yep.
Cool. Because we're going to have that be what changes everything in the end. So we're not going to change it tick by tick by tick. We're going to have you do that and we'll change it in the end. Cool. Okay. Moving on. So consumption is 1, which you just changed -1 because of consumption. The next step in this phase is to fill vacant magic item slots. You have no vacant slots. You have no buildings yet. Moving on. Step 4.
Wait, just to double check, because I'm editing this now for us.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So what was the stability check then, one? Because I was trying to figure out what I was. If I
0.
was saving or
Stability
not.
never affects BP in a negative way, only in a positive way.
Okay. Cool.
Unless I'm mistaken. Let me just confirm that. Yeah.
Okay. Continuing on then.
Perfect. So then after that is going to be no vacant magic item slots. Now it's modify unrest. Unrest increases by 1 for each kingdom attribute that is in a negative number. You currently have 0 negative numbers. Lucky you. Lucky you. Aren't you happy that you got that temporary unnamed guy, treasure? Cool. Where are you? Going back to... Here we are. After that is going to be... That's it. That finishes this phase. So if Kingdom's Unrest is 11 or higher, you lose 1 hex. It's an important thing to note. If your Kingdom's Unrest ever reaches 20, you fall into Anarchy. So it's important things to note. Next is the Edict phase. Assign leadership. Assign PCs, NPCs, or any vacant leader roles to be filled, da-da-da-da. So if you already had vacancies going into the upkeep phase, that sucks. So Edict phase, filling roles. You guys literally just filled those roles. Yay. Step 2, claim and abandon hexes. You currently cannot claim any hexes because there's nothing nearby that's, hasn't been claimed or whatever. Actually, that's not true. If you would like, during those 2 months that you were doing all that shit and building up this area, you could have also taken a break from the area that you're currently in and have explored a nearby hex. Would you have done that over the course of the past 2 months while your kingdom was building?
No.
It just costs BP, which means
that we're mechanically busy assisting with construction.
That's more of an RP thing. You guys could have taken a few days off of that because your people are also doing constructing. It's up to you. I'm just telling you that if you choose to do that, you're going to be spending more BP. But it also gets you to build out more quicker.
I can't see the hex map, so I don't know which hex.
I'm so sorry. It's hard to.
Yeah, I know.
We have to arrange. We have to arrange a hex map that both you you can see at all times.
Just a quick question. I was noticing earlier. You said ones with 1 tree is technically farmland, right?
No.
No.
That is what he said.
Wait, what did I say? Oh, wait. Locations with 1 tree are technically farmland. Yes.
So we could go and explore farmland? There for farmland. Yeah.
If you wanted to. Now, farmland is not one of those huge. Now that you understand the way that consumption works. Consumption is you pay 1 consumption per hex. Farmland decreases consumption by 2. You also have to pay to create farmland, but yes.
That would mean that our consumption would be 0.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
That might be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Maybe. On the other hand, it is just pushing off into vaguely nowhere.
It is, yeah. We don't necessarily have to claim it.
Well, no, I suppose not.
Explore a hex. We don't necessarily have to claim it.
But it seems a bit redundant to explore it if we don't intend to claim it.
Well, no, but what I mean is we could explore this one. Maybe.
I'm highlighting in purple the hexes in question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe we explore to the right because then we can get to a piece of farmland relatively quickly and get to a river as well.
Yeah.
So you guys, okay, I wasn't sure what you were talking about beforehand, if you wanted to push to the left or if you wanted to push to the right. Because you guys were also talking about going this way.
I'd vote right, but...
Entirely up to you.
We can always do that, and then if we have to move back the other way, we can if something happens with Reed.
Jake?
We're choosing which place to explore. We don't necessarily have to claim it, but we might as well explore it.
Okay, and there are choices, those 2?
The purple ones are what they're discussing. Yep.
Forest.
Mm-hmm.
So plains or forest, yep.
I feel like
Or do you want to go down the other
I
way?
don't know.
I suppose that makes
I'm
3.
gonna leave this up to you guys.
That
You
makes
just
3
get to choose.
No, we need you to vote because we're at a tie, I think, because Tesh would rather go
Okay.
left and I'd rather go right.
Yep.
Um,
I,
well,
I'd rather
I
like
think
to know
I think
more
Tesh
about-
likes the idea of just like moving this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is
I
what it
mean,
is.
Yeah.
Whereas he likes the idea of moving this way.
yeah. I mean, moving one way doesn't necessarily negate the other way. So I think, in the short
It's
term,
just
I
the
think
order we do things in, really.
Neil has the right idea for the short term. I think.
Okay.
So,
So then up into plains or down into forest.
I think
directly across in the forest, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That there's the vote. So here's what you guys did. So to explain more or less what you chose to do, is you chose to explore that area. Honestly, exploring forest just takes a couple of days. It's nothing crazy. However, preparing it to be built in, you don't have to do. But claiming it, you can do right now as part of the phase that we're talking about. Would you like to claim that hex as your land moving forward, paying 1 BP to claim that hex?
Yeah,
Okay.
because 1 BP is not much to us now, and we ought to do it before we slowly drain away all our BP due to failing rolls.
yeah.
Okay. Then, bam. Now, a fun little fact, these little things down here, if you have a place that you've explored, because you can choose to explore places without claiming them, if it's explored, it's got the blue. If it's prepared to be built in, it's got the yellow. Okay? Just so you know.
What about if it's built in?
I didn't have one. I didn't have one there. I didn't have it in. This was a little building I'll have to put or something. We'll worry about that later on. Because obviously we know this one has the keep there. Cool. So you just claim that, increasing your kingdom's size from 1 hex. Your kingdom size is actually 2. Where's kingdom size? Where are you? Kingdom size. Oh, you just took a second chunk of forest. So your population just jumped to 100. And consumption's 2. Size is now 2. Did somebody just change that, or did I? Oh, no, I did right here when I pressed fucking... Okay, I'm a dummy. Cool. Why, I bet if I press this... Yep, okay, that makes sense. That's why. So your building, your size is now 2. Moving on. After you claim the hex, the next thing you're going to do... So you may abandon hexes. We don't want to do that. So you may now build terrain improvements. So you may spend BP to build terrain improvements. So Tesh, to go back to your build point counter, claiming new lands, minus 1 BP. Okay. Terrain improvements. That should be separate. If you want to actually copy paste constructing new buildings between claiming land and constructing new buildings and add terrain improvements in there, because that's like a separate thing. Do you know what I'm saying, or no?
Yep.
Okay. So terrain improvements include things like you currently own.
It started doing it in purple.
Oh, yeah, that's why I straight copy paste, so I can work with exactly what I had before. All right, so you guys currently own, well, now 2 bits of forest. You can actually put an improvement on your current forest piece that's prepared, right?
The one that our settlement's on.
Correct.
Was it -1 for the thing?
Correct, for claiming that, whatchamacallit. If you're looking into the terrain...
Or terrain improvements, I mean. Was it -1 for terrain improvements?
-1 for claiming
No,
house.
we were just putting it in there. Okay, so.
Correct, because it's an option that should always be there. For terrain improvements, because of the fact that you have a forest, you can build a few options. 1 is a fort, 1 is a sawmill, and 1 is a watchtower. Actually, I don't think you can do a watchtower. No, sorry.
I don't think we need a fort because that's where our keep
Can
is.
do a watchtower. It's any land.
So my apologies. No, no, watchtower is a building. It's different. So it's a sawmill is the terrain improvement you can choose.
I think, well, it's sawmill or road, isn't it? And I think sawmill because the +1 BP is fantastic.
Correct.
Yeah, sawmill.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're paying the cost of, sorry if this is, you're paying
3
the cost
BP.
of 3 BP right now for terrain improvements, Tesh.
Minus. Oh, yeah, okay.
There you go.
Wrong one. Yep.
And now what this does increase is it actually increases your economy by 1. No, sawmill. Where are you? Increase your stability by 1 and +1 BP during the tax phase, which is cool because that takes place now because tax hasn't even happened yet. So going
Well,
over
we
here.
still got, so constructing new buildings. How much was that?
My apologies.
That's the next thing.
Yep, we're going to get to that in a second. So I'm applying the sawmill, which also increases population. What is a CON? I give you a -1 to CON. What is CON? I don't know. I don't know what CON stands for off the top of my head. Give me 1 second. CON. CON. Here we go. Consumption. That's right. Because more or less what it say. The reason why it's factoring is
minus is one of consumption. Yeah. So
because the BP aspect exactly. Cool. I like how it just did that math for us. That's cool. That's cool. So next one that we're gonna do is improve edicts. So this tells you the maximum number of terrain improvements you can make per turn. We already have that actually, I think, listed inside Rule 20. So it says if you open up the edicts handout that I have there, if you scroll down, there's a maximum number of edicts you can do, or terrain improvements you can do per turn. It's actually 2, but that doesn't really matter because you only have 1 hex right now, so whatever. Unless you want to make another... No, you can't even make another sawmill. Too bad. All right, moving on. Create and improve settlements. You may create settlements and claimed hexes. You're not going to do that. Create army units. You're not going to do that. Issue edicts. Okay, this is actually an important thing. Issuing edicts is actually super important. If you're looking at the tab of the kingdom tracker that we currently have, you have 4 different types of edicts that you can have. Holiday, expansion, taxation, and recruitment. Now, these have some fun little factors that you can look at the handout, as I had already mentioned, of what they do. Holiday edicts, festivals they call it in this little handout, is how often you have these. And this actually affects your nation. You can improve loyalty by having them more often, but you also increase your consumption.
So looking at it, economy is 10, our loyalty is 2, our stability is 8. I suggest we fork out 4 BP for 12 festivals a year.
So once a month?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For a fat +3 loyalty bonus.
How are you thinking about that, Jake? Okay. We can worry about the nitty-gritty fun parts of what those festivals are in the future. It doesn't matter now. So we're going to change your holidays to monthly. It's funny. This actually does it in a funky way, and I don't know why. I can change this where it says +1 economy, +2 loyalty, and then consumption 1d6. I think it's because this uses a slightly modified version of the rules because the rules were updated at some point in time. I'm going to change what that says afterwards. Neil, can you just hit me up in Discord really quickly and say change edicts rules? That'd be awesome. I'd appreciate that. All right, moving forward. After we do that one, the next one we have to decide upon is taxation. Do you want to tax in a normal way, or do you want to tax more egregiously?
We should tax in a normal way.
It's a +2 -2 is the way it works out. Okay. So standard taxing, which is a +2 -2, more or less. You can neutralize it to 0. Right? Isn't that how it works? I'm just checking.
Yeah. So no taxation is 0. Or no taxation edict.
Technically, it's supposed to be +2 economy, -2 loyalty. It's technically the way that the rules work.
What's that? Normal. Yeah, +2 -2.
Yeah, but again, the kingdom chart is doing it wrong, so I'm gonna have to change that in a second. So again, you already pinged me on that one. We'll just deal with it for the next session. All right. After that is going to be. Do you guys care about doing things like expansion? No, you're going to leave that standard for now. We're just going to leave that alone for now. And recruitment, adding to your army, we're going to leave that now. We're just going to leave that alone. So we're just leaving holidays you've issued and taxation you've issued. Cool. Leaving it alone, moving on. Next thing we're going to work on is income phase. Yay!
So with the constructing new buildings and creating new settlements thing, they're 0 and 0, are they? Or
Oh, I'm sorry. That is actually part of create and improve settlements as part of building buildings. My apologies. So let's do that too. It's actually technically supposed to be before edicts. That's fine. The buildings that you were creating were the ones that we had just discussed.
Yeah. So how much do they cost to create?
So one of your buildings was, it's actually written on the, we have to change what map we're looking at.
Wait,
Was it three?
didn't we already minus the
Yeah,
cost of
3
those?
and 8. We did.
We didn't minus the cost of those yet.
We did because we went from 91 to 86.
Exploration of the forest, claiming of the forest, preparing the forest.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's a cost of 11 for your shrine and your house, which is very expensive.
Okay. Yep.
Cool. All right. Now
And
let's move
creating your settlement is 0?
on. 0.
Or is that
0.
okay? Yeah, cool.
All right. Now let's move on. It's technically, yeah, you're fine. So next is going to be, my apologies, the income phase. Yay. Make withdrawals from the treasury. You can actually take money from your treasury and put it onto your party. By taking BP out of the treasury and putting it onto your character's pockets, you actually receive 2,000 gold pieces. It affects unrest. By taking treasure out of your pockets and putting it into the treasury, you can spend 4,000 to give your treasury 1 BP.
Oh, so it's more expensive to deposit than pull
Always.
out. So you
Always.
can't just like pull it out. I have all this money. Never mind. Bloop.
Nope. Always you sell at half value, right? That's a D&D thing. So do you guys have 4,000 gold pieces you want to put into the treasury out of your pocket?
I don't think we have that much.
Cool. Next thing you can do is sell expensive items for BP. So do you have items whose half their value in total equals 4,000 gold pieces or less that you would like to more or less sell through the market of your country to increase the BP? Fun fact: for this initial phase, I actually have that merchant there with you. He actually makes it so you sell at 3/4 the rate as opposed to 50% the rate. So something worth 1,000 gold is actually worth 750 versus 500.
And its minimum cost is it's got to be.
We
have
have
to have the
so many
total of-
items to go through.
You have the total of 4,000 or greater to gain any BP. Do you care to do that now, or let's hold on to the items for now?
Yeah, that's not.
Let's deal with that later because that's a whole can of worms.
Awesome. Next thing we're going to do is an economy check. I haven't had Jake roll yet. I'll have him roll in a second. So the economy check, which we're going to roll that, we're going to figure out what exactly that is in a moment. So economy check is going to be treasurer rolls a 9, adds his economy score 55, subtracts unrest for a total of 60, and he rolls against what?
Attempt an economy check. Divide the result by 3, round down, and add a number of BP to your treasury equal to the result.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. 9, so 1d20 rolls a 9, adds the kingdom's economy, subtracts unrest, which is a total of 60. So you don't roll against your kingdom itself. Cool. Which means the kingdom to add. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sexy.
You subtract unrest.
Correct. So, Jake, you're going to roll your current economy as of this moment is an 11. Technically, it's a 10. Your edict is changing that. Your edict is wrong for holidays. It's annoying. So it's actually at a 10. 1d20 plus 10 whenever you're ready, sir.
Do you put the plus 10 directly after 20, or do you space it?
Directly after. So / roll 1d20 plus 10. It's not overly complicated once you figure it out. They're Lightning Dragon. So 13 divided by 3, because you have normal taxation. 13 divided by 3 equals what, 4? Correct?
Yep.
So you're adding 4 to your BP from taxation there, sir.
Man, these rolls are shocking.
Yeah, we roll them real bad.
All right, after that phase, the next thing you're going to do is move into the event phase. The event phase is going to be more or less where shit can happen in the kingdom. And this is actually where shit is going to have happened in the past. Give me a moment, please. I want to...
Sorry, I was trying to fix up something with the sheet. Was there anything about taxes I was supposed to fill in, or are we up to
You
event
got
phase?
you got +4 BP from taxes.
Oh, +4. Okay, cool. That's what that was. Good. Just making sure the sheet got messy when I saved it for some reason.
So because of an event roll that happened beforehand, I have to apply this now. This is, where are you? Faith and loyalty. There's a divide amongst your people that happens over the course of this month. Okay, a divide that happens amongst your people as to which faith should be allowed in your land. You see, there are people here that have lived on the border, that have moved here from the border of Adir in the past, and they personally think that the idea that there's currently a ruling against Lady Aravel Dark Eyes is kind of foolish. It's protected them in the past. Lady Aravel is a goddess of obedience, and why wouldn't obedience be allowed in a nation that, well, has laws and requires obedience? Also, Lady Aravel Dark Eyes represents tolerance. Literally, of the faith of Lady Aravel Dark Eyes, if you were to speak ill of another person simply due to their race, you would lose your tongue. If you were to speak ill of another person simply due to their gender, you would remove your gendered parts. It
sounds really tolerant.
They don't allow for you to be intolerant of other races, sexes, cultures, so on and so forth. But you must worship Lady Aravel. They think overall it's actually a good faith to have there. Put that aside. Shelf that one. I know you're excitable. There are people there that think that the worship of of Winifred Orenda is kind of foolish. I mean, honestly, this isn't a place where there's a lot of reading and learning. Why do we care about scribes and stuff like that? The fact that there's some sort of tribute to whatever that's kind of expected or homage that must be paid to her, why? Others, however, like Vrogar, isn't that the god of the orcs? I don't know. I kind of feel uncomfortable with that. A lot of people tend to lean towards the martyr, just instinctively. And so there's a bit of like rest that happens there because they can worship the martyr. So that kind of eases things down. But you notice that there is a situation that's kind of like brewing amongst the people as to what God should be allowed in your land, what faith should be allowed in your land, or are pushed forward. Immediately that happens.
Well, those peasants have no choice.
You guys have a choice. You can either choose to allow this to settle on its own, ignore it more or less. You can choose to have one of your characters approach it directly with a check, allow one of your advisors to approach it directly with a check, or make it a huge RP thing that we can handle next session.
If there was followers of Lady Aravel, one would expel them personally.
So you would want your character to handle it? Do you want it to be an RP thing or a check thing?
Now, the issue is that they're talking about how they have in the past. Is one against someone converting?
No, but they cannot settle here if they do.
Yeah, well,
they can go back to Hogwen.
Okay, so we don't need to resort to kicking them out yet. We need to make sure it's known that it's not okay, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're choosing to live here, and we've set down, what this is. So if they want to, they have no say over the, the laws of the land. That's the three of us. But
so again,
yeah, I don't know. If you want to approach them first or something, Tesh, like that's something you could do before I went and handled it. But that's what
So again, we can make this a simple D20 roll, or we can make it an RP thing. I'll be more than happy to make it an RP thing, but we kind of like sink our teeth into it and have more fun with it because it's actually, by sheer coincidence, it's what I rolled last month, and it's super important to your character, to your campaign. Why don't we just say this is an RP thing that we handle more complex next month? Okay. Awesome. The last thing about the secondary phase I do have to say, unfortunately, bad weather hits the nation. Bad weather. I actually call this event London Skies. Consistently bad weather as is seasonal appropriate because it's August. It's
Wait, we're being bombed?
Oh, wow.
Because it's consistently bad weather, more or less it's August, it is hot, it's balmy, it rains at all the worst times, and immediately afterwards has this like the rise of just humidity. It's just nasty constantly. Your characters for the next month's roll is going to have a -2 economy, stability, and loyalty.
Wow.
Yep, just because people are upset about that. Can I roll this? Other -2.
Why don't you control the weather?
All right, cool. And that ends the first phase. Yay! That was the first.
Okay, so so BP resolution is 0 from the event.
Oh, yeah. From the events, it's 0. No BP spent. So why don't we?
I was going to do the calculation and
Yep.
put it
Why don't we
down
tell me what the total calculation is?
Okay, so 74, I think, if you want to double check.
Nope. If you're telling me it's 74, if you did your math well.
I'm going to calculate it just in case, because I'm pretty sure that's it, but...
So what did you guys build? You built so far a shrine. Where's S for shrine?
Yeah,
and you
74.
Built a house. And you built a house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
74 is ending point.
Yeah, 74. I was right. Cool. I'm not crap at math.
Cool. So, and you have your buildings built?
Oh, I need to change that, the bottom starting to 86. There we go.
So your kingdom's population is finally growing a bit. Again, I have to double check the math of this sheet that I had found before. It's currently saying your population is 155. I think it's supposed to be greater than that, but we'll figure it out afterwards. Cool. So that ends us the month of that gets us to the month of August, right? So we said you start at 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so that gets us from August to September. So it's now September. Cool. And so our number is 74, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Now that we've built all of that, that's super fun. We're going to go through it much faster, and we're going to do it one more time real quick. So first thing we're going to do is, because we're going to get comfortable with this, we're going to go through this one more time really fast, starting from the top, upkeep phase. We need a stability check. Who rolled that last time, Neil?
Me. I'll do it again.
Cool. Neil, you're going to roll a stability check. This time you're rolling with a total
Plus 8.
Oh, so it looks like a plus 6, actually.
It wasn't a plus 6 before, it was a plus 9.
Wait, am I needing to fill stuff out again, or?
Yeah, it's a plus 6 is what the modifier currently says.
It's a plus 6 now. Right.
So more or less, Tesh, that sheet that you did, I'm gonna have to come up with a clean way of doing that. It resets back to zeros all the way down, and the top is now 74.
Well, like, yeah, I can just put the top as 74 and change it as we go.
Failed it, baby.
What did you get for a total?
18.
A lot.
Now, don't forget, you can roll your luck roll, right? Hold on, wait, but your DC is now increased. Your DC is now 23 because your kingdom grew in size.
Is that not factored in? It says size too.
Where correct, but it doesn't say the DC anywhere, does it?
It says on the left, total 22.
Wait, where?
On the kingdom tracker. Control DC, right at the very top left.
Looking control districts. It doesn't say that you have any districts. You do have one district, which is 1.
Okay.
I'm just making sure there's
So
no
the DC is
math.
23.
So we can't reach it with thing.
Yep. Sorry. Okay, cool. So now we know you have a district.
But we are currently 5 lower. Wasn't there an extra penalty for 5 lower?
Mm-hmm.
There was. I'm
So
just double checking something real quickly.
If you roll the 1 luck thing, then that gets us out of the 5 penalty no matter what.
None of those factor any of that stuff. Okay, cool. Awesome. So all that's there. You said, my apologies, 5. So you failed by less than 5?
We failed by
With
exactly
5.
5.
Okay, let me roll. So if you fail by 5 or more, you can use a luck to reduce the chance, because unrest increases by 1d4 if you fail by 5 or more. If you use a luck, you automatically change that.
Okay, let's look at them.
Might as well. Yeah, just to... Oh,
Cool.
when we
So
don't need it.
unrest increases by 1, which isn't so bad. So it gets to unrest 2. Let's move on to the next step of the phase. Pay consumption. You pay your nation's consumption. So this is to you, Tesh. Your consumption is going to be, it's technically was 2 BP minus 1 for your sawmill is 1 BP, but then your holidays also added. What were you paying for holidays?
We're doing 12 holidays a year, which is
4.
So 1 each. One each month.
So 4, 5, 6, 5 BP is what you're paying for consumption.
Oh, okay. It's 4 BP a month.
I didn't realize that.
Consumption's always a month, not a year.
Fair. I should have read that bit better. Oh well.
-5. Okay. Ouch.
Other, we'll put 4 here so we know that. Oh, it's not factoring in, so I guess I'll get rid of that for now.
We need that real fast.
Okay, so after that is going to be, let's keep pushing along because it should be pretty quick understanding this now. After that is going to be pay consumption, fill magic item slots. Could you do me a favor, Jake, roll me a D100. Tell me what the result is. 13. So the magic item slot is not filled. It's left empty. We're going to move on. Modify unrest. Increases by 1. Nothing's in the negative, so you're fine there. And we're going to move on to the edict phase. Assign leadership. Your leaders are assigned. Did you guys, over the course of September to October, did you explore any more hexes? And
yes,
I'm going to change the map.
We want to push over towards the farmland and the river.
So you're going to go to the east.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, exploring, remember, it doesn't technically have a cost because more or less your characters are doing this. In the future, this isn't just going to be simply words. We're actually going to be playing this out. We're just doing this as we're getting familiar with the rules. So there we go. Are we starting to pay the cost to prepare that or no, not yet?
Yes, we should prepare that one because we need to build things on it.
Fun thing about that one is that's actually planes. Because it's planes,
the cost is 0.
And the preparation time is immediate. Yep. So you pay
sweet.
1 BP to prepare that for building.
Sweet.
Okay, so claiming new land is 1 BP?
Correct. Oh, cool. Sorry. Are we claiming first? My apologies. You were claiming that. So yep. You're doing that. Claiming it now. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Well, so is it terrain improvements? Is that preparing?
Yep. So as you claim it, you can also choose to prepare it for. So you're going to pay 1 more to prepare it.
Okay, so that's 1 BP for that.
Am I correct on that? Yep, 1 BP. And then, do you want to build a farm on it?
Yep, that's 2 BP for a farm.
It's 2 BP for a farm because everything's immediate on planes. It's super easy.
Yep.
Cool. So not only did we do that, not only did we prepare it, we claimed it, we prepared it.
Farms consumption decreases by 2 BP.
Yep. So we're going to apply that in a second. So first we're going to go back onto the kingdom chart.
Can we only build 1 improvement on a tile?
If it has the asterisk on the terrain improvements area, which I don't know if you have that page open, that means that you can actually sorry, my brain's not working. Hold on, Tash. That means that you can have multiple on one tile. So like you can have a bridge with a farm, but you know what I mean? So long as it has the asterisk in that area.
So how many can we have on a tile?
If it has the asterisk, infinite. So you can have infinite aqueducts, bridges, canals, farms, fisheries, forts, highways.
So we could just have like 12 farms on one?
No. 1 farm per tile.
Okay, so this turn, can we also build like a fishery on that?
Is there a waterway there?
There's a river.
Oh, if you're over by a river, then I would say yes.
It's 4 BP, but it reduces our consumption by 1.
The limitation, however, hold on, is exploration. No, not that. It's edicts. Maximum number of terrain improvements you can do in one particular round is 2.
Oh well, that's. Oh no, we prepared it.
Preparation counts as an improvement, and
okay.
Yep.
So do I put the -2 from the farm under terrain improvements or constructing new buildings?
Terrain improvements.
Okay.
Cool. Now let's move on to the next step so we can keep pushing on because we got to finish up soon for Neil to take his break for his next show tonight. Let's see. Build terrain. Improve. Let's see. So we did all that. Are we building buildings yet? That's
we?
back over.
Where would we build the building? Over in capital.
So the purpose of an inn, which is the other one that we were talking about, correct?
Yep.
Oh, another shrine could certainly be really good. But the purpose of an inn is +1 economy and loyalty.
I think probably in then right now would be a good idea.
Whereas the purpose of a shrine, if you want to start separating out to get all of your shrines done, is +1 loyalty, -1 unrest.
Oh.
And increases the chance of, increases the number of magic items that can always be at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, are we in need of the economy yet, or can we save that till next time?
Well, unrest applies a penalty to all checks. Economy is a bonus to economy checks.
I
Okay,
think we should get our next shrine then.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get the shrines out of the way. We need to build them anyway.
Okay. So then we're going to copy paste that shrine. We're going to put it in the other corner.
How much does that cost?
8 to BP.
Ooh, 8.
We're going to have the first one be the shrine to the martyr, because that's what the people seem to be liking at the moment. And the other one would be the shrine to the other two. Sorry, Jake. To other two. This is going to matter for RP
The
purposes.
people
when we get there.
want what the people want.
So you paid your 8. Let's keep pushing this on. Edicts. Are you changing any of your edicts or no? You're good right now, right?
Do you want to reduce it to 6 festivals per year?
What does that change?
It halves the consumption increase to 2.
Yeah, and what's the what does it change to the positive?
+2 rather than +3. Let me
I
have a
think
look.
that's
What's
worse.
their current consumption?
Currently, because it's not allowing me to factor your consumption incorrectly, you're supposed to have a consumption modifier of 4 on there, so it's 5 right now.
Yeah,
5 in total, not minus the 3 tech.
it's about to be 6 though because we took another hex.
3 size plus 1 district equals 4, plus currently 4 for your what's it called? Current edict of faith is 8.
Holiday.
8 minus 2 for farm minus 1 for sawmill equals 5.
Okay, so we should drop that down then to 2.
I agree. Yep.
Okay, so that's what, weekly? I think. No, monthly.
Yeah.
Cool. No, not monthly. Sorry, quarterly.
Bi-monthly.
Quarterly is what it's supposed to go to, and we'll worry about how that works afterwards. All right, so moving on. After that is going to be what's next. We're done with that whole phase. Now is the income phase. Making withdrawals, I imagine no. Selling anything right now, I imagine no. Collecting taxes.
Taxes.
Jake, you get to roll the economy check. I just want to make sure the modifier is correct on here because it was fucking with you before. Economy currently says 8. Do you have any buildings that affect your economy? I don't think you do.
Not yet. We were gonna make one, and then we decided shrine.
Correct.
But shrine does -1 on rest.
Which is good.
Before we actually finish, can you always build a house every time for free? Because you might be able to build another house for free. Let me just double check that really quickly before we get to his thing. H for house. House, -1 in rest tenement. The first house you build during the improvement phase does not count towards the total number of buildings you can build a house, but technically it has to be a tenement first, actually. Tenement increases on rest, but can later on be upgraded to a house.
No, we can't deal with the extra unrest right now, can we?
No, I think we wait till we can get that down with another shrine.
So our current unrest is -3. Where's unrest? Unrest is, it's not updated on the Google Docs.
It is. It's only a 1.
You might have to refresh.
It would be
really?
3, but you've already minused off the 2 shrines. Okay,
Correct.
Okay.
so it's only a 1. That's good. Shrine was a good shout.
Yeah.
So that's why if you build a tenement now, it goes back up to a 3. But later on, you can turn it into a house, which reduces it a little bit.
I don't think it's worth it. but I don't know. I mean, we're probably gonna fail the control check no matter what, because we need to roll what.
I wonder if you can just choose to build a house instead of a tenement. Like, what's the? I wonder what the actual ruling on that one is. Because
why are you angry?
Why would you ever choose to build a tenement? I suppose if you just need cheap housing quick.
Yeah, because it's just like I can imagine you like it's just like here was your shelter. Why are you angry? We built you shelter. Why are you angry?
Because it almost feels like, shouldn't you be able to build a house? I don't know. Whatever. Let's skip by it. Whatever. Fuck it. Let's keep moving. I will look at it. If we have to retro add it on, we will. Jake, you're rolling your check for me, sir. It's going to
What's
be.
What's the pluses?
It's going to be 1d20 plus 8 minus 1. So 1d20 plus 7 is what it looks like. I'm just making sure I got that correct. Yeah. Okay. What's your result? 17. So what's that? What did I say? Divided by 3. So 15 divided by 3 is plus 5 BP. Add that on there, Tesh.
Yep.
After that's collecting taxes, now it's the event phase. So the event phase is going to be the bad weather is currently going to shore up. No more. I'm actually going to skip right now. No event is happening this upcoming month. So we're good there. And we already have faith and loyalty as a thing that you're handling. So let's get rid of the bad weather, those penalties.
We are down to 62 BP.
Perfect. 62 BP, and now we're in October. Perfect. I wanted to do 3 months this session. Unfortunately, we did a bunch of, well, not unfortunately, we did some RP and whatnot, which took up some time. So, awesome. Cool. I think this is going to kind of be where we have to finish it. We're going to probably have to change a couple of minor details once I go over, like, some basic stuff for next session, the beginning of next session. Also, beginning of next session, we're going to roll one more month's time to get us into the month of November. And then we're going to stop with a time hop because you have another huge choice that you're going to have to make at that time. So, for now, I guess that's it for the session, right? You guys understand the basics of it. It feels wonky. It feels uncomfortable right now, but you're going to figure it out. It's going to be more fun moving forward. It's not just roll a bunch of dice. When it's like, no, playing the month, RPing through shit, and then good, Neil.
Speaking of rolling a bunch of dice, we should all roll our hit die.
Oh yeah, because you leveled up.
Yes, we should.
Yay! Watch me roll a 1. Boo!
So wait, how do I've already forgotten how to roll hit die.
You press the button that says hit die.
Hit points.
You both rolled
Nice.
garbage.
Both rolled.
Hey, Max, good for you.
Great. Now I have 16 health.
I have 20. I am no longer twig that blow over in wind.
Awesome. Well, so what's your total health points now, boys? We have 16 for you, Neil.
20 for Tesh.
And Jake.
25.
Jeez. All right. Good. All right, cool. So like I said, beginning of next session, we're going to have one more kingdom phase that takes place before we kind of jump back into an established kingdom, and your character's actually walking through it and RPing it. So we'll actually kind of jump in, handle that, I think, the faith and loyalty thing. Then we'll do the kingdom phase. And then we'll jump into what's now the present, right? Awesome. Well, that was a lot of fun, kind of like working through the mechanics. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of meta talk this time. It's going to be eased down after next session to being significantly less. But Neil's going to go because he's going to be... Well, where are you going to be, Neil?
I'm going to be on twitch.tv/Olirun for another episode of Yavaskir, A Mother's Love, where I play the lovable rogue Vale, who doesn't roll ones consistently.
You hope.
Tesh.
Hi, I'm Tesh of the Tesh Tube. You can follow me follow me on that on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You should follow me if you enjoy, well, these, because I do these, and I'm also on Ollie Rant's channel on Sunday night, his time and American time.
Boo! No, I kid.
and in a campaign that is in the same location as his, and technically rival, sort of.
No, we changed that.
No, yeah, totally. And also if you like Destiny, Warframe, especially Warframe, because that's ramping up. And also if you like cute animal gifs, follow me on Twitter because I post a lot of those.
Jake, anything you want to say?
Nope, I'm good.
All right.
That's so quiet.
Nope.
You guys know Aurorum Kingmaker. One of the things you want to note is that Aurorum Regicide had a little bit of a hiccup as we kind of like a PC kind of fell off, but we found a replacement PC finally after about 2.5 weeks.
It's me.
I found a replacement PC that's going to be taking over. So this replacement PC I was speaking to last night. That's why I didn't stream. I'm going to be building their character with them tonight, doing their solo session recording because I already have the other two done. And then we're going to be airing that starting not this upcoming Friday. It's either going to be next Friday or the Friday after that. It's honestly, I just have to now collaborate with the PCs, find out what's best for everybody's schedules moving forward. And then finally, Aurorum Regicide will be taking in. That is, again, same world, same timeline, different party, different motives. Let's see how Aurorum Kingmaker and Aurorum Regicide coincide.
Well, we're going to become Regicide because our unrest is just going to grow.
Don't worry, it does get easier. Part of it is that you have a lot of value items that you can sell to add into your economy and whatnot that helps your BP go. But anyways, moving on, we are that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna get going. I'm actually not going to stop streaming. I'm gonna keep going, so I'm gonna let these boys get out of here, and then I'll be back in about 8 minutes or so time, and we're gonna keep talking about this campaign, about these rules and whatnot, and kind of like figuring everything out. I'll take some of your input on how it is we do rules, but for now,
we're gonna talk about me.
Neil's gotta go, so see y'all soon. Bye.